All right, so I had a request from a viewer to see how Corven works through progression. I got him recently. He is level 50, and I am working on getting him some insignia so we can get him at least to his 5 stars. I think that's kind of a key promotion for him to demonstrate what he is capable of. So we'll just show him as we level up through the Insignia the Marksman stages, and then we'll show him in campaign. So, I think early on he got some disrespect, and he certainly may not be at the peak of units for Marksman, but he kind of functions as a Lady A replacement. Maybe replacement's not the word, but he definitely seems to be fitting that niche that Lady A did of just sniping things everywhere. So he's pretty interesting. It's not always easy to see, but like he just will wipe it out. Like, although Silas hits harder, Silas is level 60, so sometimes these comparisons aren't not completely one to one. So this is just demonstrating some of his utility. And so we effectively had Silas and Corben two-man that. Although I think we're probably above the BP requirements, so. But we didn't use any of the other units. I'm curious. I don't know if we'll be able to push into extreme with this team, but we'll give it a go. So he's sniping back here too. He does an interesting job of hitting the back line, so he kind of seems like a reasonable Idro replacement. And I know there's been some rumors about him uh, effectively being a part of the new faction, and depending on the utility of that faction, I'd be curious to see how he does. So he kind of seems to struggle when he's just trying to single target one thing down, but he seems like he offers good utility in terms of just um, softening up the back line. All right, still looks like we have plenty of BP to progress this. Huh. Yeah, I'm curious. I guess they want us to face outward. Interesting. And I suppose we'll try to use some slows to make this work. This may be a good example of watching him snipe random stuff around, though. You see, he's hitting stuff he's not facing. Although we're going to support the top lane, I think Silas will be able to take care of most things on the bottom lane. Yeah, he's hitting this stuff out here without facing it, so he's showing a lot of utility. Although I do think we have a little more BP than we need with this. Just the flexibility seems nice. I feel like sometimes we get spoiled from the Lady A's that we have. So I don't know. I think people tried to use him in that middle lane of gear raid 324, and when he wasn't able to gun everything down. Here we are showing hard on BP, so if we can be successful here, I think that's a good indicator um, that he is. Oh, we can do medium here when we swapped Idril. But this is more of an on-level use case for him, and I'm hopeful that we can still do well. Okay, so we have a pretty strong quad group here with Numera, Idril, Silas. We're just going to blast the ults here. We are struggling a little bit there. I think if we have some slows out there, we might do better. Okay, so we do get some support from Corven there. Although this will be a good test of how things go. We'll just throw on all the ults here. Mari went down. We might need to put some gear on her if we're going to set her out in the front like that. We're going to try to sit her back a little bit. Or maybe we put the big boys out in front a little bit more. That will leave Numera outside of the range for Invig, but I think we might need to do that to keep our Mari alive. She's a little more backline here. We'll see if this is enough to deal with all this. We lost Corven there. We needed to get Pharisee down sooner. I'm going to put some more gear on Mari and try this again. I think This may be an example of one of the issues with Corvin is he has an interesting mechanic, but barring, let's promote him a little bit though. That is part of the issue, I think. Um, let's see if we can give him at least 5 stars too. So I'm just gonna go auto some levels for him so we can get a real comparison. Okay, I think we need about 15 more if I remember correctly. Let's see how, oh, 4 short. Okay, so we have him fully with his full 5 stars. I'm not sure I'm going to invest yet, but I'll throw some dust into his skills. So that's about all the dust I have. I don't believe we have an artifact to throw on him. So this is part of the problem of the comparison, but we want to do our best. Um, and maybe we'll use Hollow instead of Pharisee. If she can get some rage out there, that would be beneficial. So we're going to sit Corvin back a little bit and we'll put Silas up front a little bit more, just to try to get him to tank a little bit for us. Yeah, see, Corvin came in there and helped finish that off. Well, I didn't end up doing the thing I said I wanted to do by putting gear on Mari, so good job. ADHD fails me again. Oh, and we didn't swap Yao Chen. Ugh, I'm a mess. All right. So let's see what we need to put on Mari to try to keep her alive. Just some HP if we're being honest. We can just put some HP main stat on her. If we can even put her in a guardian set, maybe we have a defense ring instead of HP. Yeah. All right, so respectable set of gear. Nothing crazy, but give us a little more survivability. Looks like we might have an artifact to put on her. Oh, that's nice. All right, let's take another stab at it. Looks like Corvin was dealing with a side there. We're going to slow this down, see if we can get hollow before things get too crazy. I think one of the issues, and this is something I'm struggling with um, in Gear Raid 3 as well, is I don't have any AoE physical damage, so no AoE marksmen that are physical. I think we're going to try this one more time. Instead of dropping Numera to the left, we're going to try to set everyone else up instead. And we'll see if this offers us the additional time that we need. Okay, so let's see if Corven offers us um, the support that we need here on the side. Yeah, so it looks like we didn't initially need Numera. We're going to slow this down here. We will throw Numera down there to help with the sides. But we are going to go like this, like this, like this. I'm hoping we can get the Mari ult before they come in. We might need to bring Aurelius in. I was hoping to avoid the mages, but doesn't seem like we're quite able to do this. All right, let's see. I think I might want to give him slightly better main gear. I don't have anything crazy, but that's a little bit better. Let's see if we can crack this egg now. We're going to put her out front. I'm hopeful that she can survive, but we'll see. Come on, Corven. Snipe the side. Okay. Slow this down. Drop our Numera. Yeah, Mari's not going to work up front. Okay, we'll drop our ults here. We got Gaia set up. We can drop Numera here. She might be a little slow, but we'll see what we can do. We're going to give it one more go. I think the fundamental issue here is Corvus just doesn't hit hard enough for where he's at, but it's also not comparing apples to apples here. I do think you're really intended to have a AoE marksman here, which we don't have. And we didn't have a healer the last run, so I'm wondering if we need to get some cost gen in here. I'm going to try to forego Numera and or maybe face her inward.
I'm taking a shower left.
Okay, so this is the wave that gave us some issues, I think. All right, so it seemed like the positioning changes we made helped a lot. All right, 5 more units. I think we're in a good position. Corven definitely helping out. Um, I'm curious if he's going to help out here. I don't want Numera to die, but looks like we pulled it off. All right, Extreme 2 done. Took a little bit of tweaking. Corvin definitely has some utility, but he lacks a little bit of oomph. That can definitely be level in gear though, so I think he definitely has a place. But let's go ahead and continue with him in campaign, just to try to showcase what he can do. All right, so my goal here, we're a little above on BP, but it's just to use as little units as possible to showcase what Corvin can do. Although we're getting stopped a little bit. You can see him shooting around though. He's already whittled this one pretty far down as well. We'll give him a Diao as well. So he just sniped that guy out of range. I wonder if there's any sort of predictability to what he does, because he's hitting stuff up here too, hitting stuff outside of range. I think there's a delay to it. Yeah, he does that animation where it like puts a bullseye on him and then he hits him. Pretty interesting. I maybe wouldn't necessarily drop him first here, but we are trying to showcase what he does, so we're going to. But yeah, he took out that flyer right there. I also kind of positioned him awkwardly so we could see when it's clear that he's shooting at stuff that's not in his range. So I think that's interesting. Uh, I commented earlier on Discord, but I he does feel, in using him in this situation, he does feel a little bit like a mini Lady A. Uh, although I think that's part of the disappointment for some people is Lady A hits like an absolute truck, and he doesn't quite as hard, but he did an interesting ricochet there. You can see the bullet hit and then hit like 3 or 4 additional things. So we're not placing our units ideally, but once again, I'm just trying to show what Corvin can do here instead of just dropping Silas and watching him mow through everything. All right, so I think I'll finish out this chapter with him for the video. I don't want this to drag on forever, but um, as I've had a couple people comment that there's um, not many showcases out there showing what Corvin can do. So I do think this is interesting. Yeah, so he just sniped that guy over there. Mostly dropping additional block here in the interest of not leaking. Yeah, so we had another interesting ricochet there. I don't wonder if he had a little bit more control of when he did his ability, if it would, I don't know, compensate, but I guess Lady A is also to some degree random, so I'm sure they have that in the back of their mind as they design the character. Once again, curious how Ricochet works here, because anything in this bottom lane is out of his range. Yeah, so we got that Ricochet to take all those bugs out back there. I am also curious to try him out in Void Rift. I think he could be really interesting for progression there. Unfortunately, I need to get my account to level 40 before I can get in there, but probably need to improve where I'm at in the gear and the leveling to get a real picture of how that would go. Alright, so we'll keep plugging away here. 2 more levels. And I do think these are actually pretty interesting levels to use him. We actually have to guard this section here, so I'm going to try to set up a little closer in this level. Silas to bail us out so we don't leak there. But don't want him to interfere with the main line if we can avoid it. I do wish, similar to some of the boss levels, we could see um, how the damage was going per character here. All right. Unlocked expert. But I want to go back and finish that level. I think we might have some energy. Nope. See, we need 12. 10 should get us there. This will be interesting because I know how she hangs out in the back for a little while, so we might get a good gauge of how much he's able to snipe her. Uh, and once again, we're going to try to minimize using other DPS, mostly just to see how much Corvin can handle this. We will support him with Yao, though. He's sniping her down. She's at half health here. I'm kind of curious if you can kill her before she moves up into position. She keeps healing herself a little bit, but not completely. I'm gonna drop Silas here just to avoid a leak. He kind of seems to do a sneaky amount of damage. I will say, pulling him on a progression account, it looks like he has a lot of utility and potential, and sometimes when we're looking at the end game, it feels like we're very focused on if he can't punt a certain amount of damage, he doesn't have a use in the game. And to some degree, that's true because a lot of end game content is can you kill it before it does whatever it's trying to do. But um, I think I'm going to reassess and continue to use him. I think he seems to be a lot more interesting than the general consensus of worst release in 2 years. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. All that fun and wonderful.